Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dr. David Glassner, Superintendent of Shaker Heights City School District. I'm here today to provide my regular summer update regarding our 2020-2021 school year. I'm just going to share my screen here for a minute so that everybody can follow along with the information I'll be sharing today. Thank you again to everybody for joining us. We will be providing very specific information about the start of the school year today, and are making two official announcements. All Shaker Heights Schools students from pre-K through grade 12 will begin the school year remotely on Monday, August 31st. Also, all in-person athletic practices, events, and conditioning are suspended immediately until further notice. I know that for many of you, this information may not be a surprise. As you know, we've been updating everybody along the way in our decision-making process, and many of you may have heard that the Cuyahoga County Board of Health announced yesterday that they are recommending that all public schools begin the school year remotely. And so this decision is in line with the guidance that we're getting at the county level. Many of you have asked when we're going to bring students back into the classroom. And I want to assure everyone that our goal is to return our students to the classroom as soon as possible. We know that the COVID-19 spread in our community and in our state continues to present a high level of risk for our students. And so we're making this decision with those numbers and the data in mind. We do expect to be in a remote learning environment for at least a quarter, and we will reevaluate the status of our learning environment at that time. However, just to be transparent, based on conversations that we've had so far with local and state health officials, and from a realistic planning perspective, we understand that remote learning may continue for a longer period of time. It may also be possible to get students back into the classroom after a quarter. We will know that it is safe to return based on ongoing guidance from local, state, and federal health authorities. And as we've mentioned in the past, we will continue to align our decisions to the Cuyahoga County Health Advisory level and other guidance. Currently, we are in a level 3 or a red level. And as we have stated in the past, if the levels are downgraded and we receive other health guidance, that makes it clear that it is safe for students to return to the classroom. We will certainly plan on doing so. I did have the opportunity to participate in a meeting today with the Cuyahoga County Board of Health earlier today, and they have really made a priority of sharing regular data, trend data, information, and other research with schools, and we expect that communication and collaboration to continue on an ongoing basis moving forward. And so we are working very closely with our partners at the Cuyahoga County Board of Health to make these decisions about when students can return to schools in person. What will remote learning look like as we enter the school year? And I have to say, I believe we are going to have a very robust and engaged learning experience for our students. We've learned a lot since the spring about how to best engage students in learning in a remote or virtual learning environment. We know that it's important that there are synchronous learning opportunities and regularly scheduled classes for students. We know that it's important to have meaningful and authentic student-teacher engagement. We do know that screen time has come up as a concern, particularly for younger students, whether students will be kind of in a Zoom meeting or a Google Meet meeting for 6 hours at a time, just staring at a screen. We expect that there will be age-appropriate screen time, and that there will be opportunities for movement breaks, screen breaks, independent and small group activities, just like we would have in a regular classroom. Unlike in the spring, attendance will be taken when there are regular classes or scheduled classes for students at grade levels at different grade levels for this upcoming school year. And there will be structured opportunities to get individual support or to meet with teachers individually in small groups, just like we have in the regular school building, similar to conferences or other individual supports that students get when we're in our buildings. So all of those will be characteristics of our remote learning this upcoming school year. One question that we've gotten a lot in the remote learning environment: how will students with 504 and IEPs receive supports and interventions? So first of all, I want to make abundantly clear that IEPs and 504 plan support and accommodations will continue in compliance with all relevant state and federal laws. We are exploring the possibility of providing in-person, specially designed instruction for our students with the highest needs. And we should have more information available for students and families in the near future. And we will continue to work collaboratively with our partners to provide supports for students. We work with a number of different local student support agencies, and we will continue to do so. Also, our student support professionals, like our school psychologists, school counselors, school social workers, intervention specialists, and more, will of course continue to be working to meet all of our student needs. We've discussed over the past few days information about childcare during the school day, and I want to just take this opportunity today to clarify some of the information that we've provided over the past few days. We are working with partners to provide remote learning centers, including the Shaker Heights Recreation Department. Plans are still in the very initial phases, and we are working with the city to explore our potential options. At this point, though, I do want to be clear that we do not yet have the capacity to create remote learning centers for students in need of supervision during the school day. We are working both with Shaker Heights Recreation Department and talking to some private vendors to see what kind of options we can provide for students. We know that childcare is going to be an essential part of the conversation as we plan for a remote start to the school year. And so we hope to have more information soon, but again, I just wanted to issue that clarification so that we are all clear about what we are able to do at this stage and where the status of our childcare planning exists right now. We've also gotten questions about the Shaker Virtual Academy. Because we are starting the school year remotely, the Shaker Virtual Academy is no longer necessary right now. So all students will be learning in a remote learning environment, and that means we do not need a Shaker Virtual Academy currently. If and when we return to in-person classes, we will make sure to provide remote options for students and families who need them. I want to make sure that we're clear that for families that have already indicated that they are indicated interest or enrolled in the Shaker Virtual Academy, you do not need to do anything further. Your child or a student will be automatically enrolled in their home school or in the appropriate grade level. So you do not need to unenroll your student from the Shaker Virtual Academy. Throughout this process, since the beginning of the pandemic, we've gotten lots of questions about social and emotional learning support, making sure that we're providing for the mental health and well-being of our students. And that will continue to be a priority and a focus for our students this upcoming school year. We're going to make sure that we have lots of opportunities for students to build positive relationships with peers. We will continue to implement the caring school community throughout the many grade levels that it's already offered in, and we'll make sure that we're providing other social and emotional learning opportunities and support for students at all grade levels. School counselors, school psychologists, and community partners, as I mentioned, will also continue to be available to support students who need it. I also want to highlight the work of our Family and Community Engagement Office, that in the spring and over the summer has really done an incredible job of being in touch with and communicating with some of our highest needs students and families, and we will continue to provide that kind of support moving forward. Will food service be available during remote learning? Absolutely. The district will continue to provide meals to students. We are working on and developing plans and specific schedules for distribution times and methods. Given that there will be more synchronous learning and a more robust schedule for students this upcoming school year than there was in the spring, we recognize that we may have to modify or alter distribution times and methods because we don't want lunch delivery or meal delivery to conflict with student learning schedules. But we will certainly be continuing to provide food service this upcoming school year. Will my child have the technology and supplies needed to succeed? Absolutely. Again, fortunately, we're ahead of the curve a little bit. Most of our students already have Chromebooks, and many families who indicated need in the spring that they need hotspots for connectivity already have those in place. Those of our students who are new to our district or who don't have a Chromebook and they need one, we are working on distribution mechanisms and structures to make sure that we can get Chromebooks and hotspots for students who need to student homes. We've already started ordering additional hotspots for students who may need them. We also know from the spring that distributing supplies to students is also important, and so we're developing plans to distribute supplies and equipment for students when there's need, so that students have access to the learning tools they need to be successful in the remote learning environment. We've talked about this before, and I want to just highlight and underscore again for everyone that we will continue to ensure that educational equity is at the forefront of the work and learning that is taking place this upcoming school year. As always, we're going to continue to provide targeted enrichment, supports, instruction to individuals and to groups of students to make sure that our students get what they need. As many of you know, we are also de-leveling many of our courses in grades 5 through 8 and at the high school level, particularly the core and honors level courses. This allows us to expand access to a wide range of course pathways for all of our students. So we believe that we will really have some highlights in terms of educational equity this upcoming school year. I know that our teachers and school building administrators and support faculty are already working on developing curriculum and instructional strategies to ensure that all students' needs are met and that all of our students are challenged and engaged in rigorous and robust learning. We've gotten some questions around pre-kindergarten. As I mentioned at the beginning of this presentation today, pre-kindergarten students will also start remotely on August 31st. Tuition for those families that pay tuition will be prorated to account for the fact that we are in a virtual learning environment or in a remote learning environment. And we know that for pre-kindergarten students in particular, that is very challenging. Members of our pre-kindergarten team will reach out to pre-kindergarten families to provide additional information. As I mentioned at the beginning of this presentation, athletics, in-person athletics and extracurricular activities are suspended until further notice, in line with the Cuyahoga County Board of Health recommendation. There has been a little bit of confusion because the Cuyahoga County Board of Health recommendation discussed band, orchestra, and choir, along with other extracurricular activities. Just to clarify, regular instruction in band, orchestra, and choir, as well as art and drama, will continue even when we are in a remote learning environment. We also expect to be able to provide virtual extracurricular activities for students, a wide range of virtual extracurricular activities, which we're excited about. So I just want to review before talking about some things in conclusion here, or to wrap up. I know we have spent a lot of time together over the past few months as our district has developed plans for the upcoming school year. We are going to be starting in a remote learning environment. Unfortunately, the health trends that we see right now and the health data that we see right now do not allow us to open school for students in a healthy and safe way. That said, I am very optimistic that our students will be engaged in excellent learning, that they will continue to have all the opportunities and experiences that our Shaker School District is known for. We are delaying the start of the school year by a couple of weeks. So for students, the start of the school year will start on August 31st, Monday, August 31st, instead of the original date, which was August 19th. This will allow our teachers and staff additional time to prepare remote learning curriculum and instructional strategies so that students will be engaged in excellent and enriching learning from the beginning of the school year. I will be providing another summer update this upcoming Tuesday, August 4th at 3 p.m. I know there is still additional information that our families may and students have questions about, such as specific student schedules, building level or grade level schedules, and other information. I expect to be able to provide additional details this upcoming Tuesday. I also want to add that we are considering the possibility of starting to wind down these summer updates. We recognize that most of the communication moving forward over the next few weeks as we gear up for the start of the school year will be coming to students and families from buildings. We also expect to continue to provide weekly updates from the district, whether that's video or in writing or both, like we did during the extended closure period in the spring. But I just want to let folks know I've really enjoyed these summer updates and will continue on Tuesday, but we are starting to discuss transitioning communication to our students and families to the building level. Our next Board of Education meeting right now is scheduled currently for Tuesday, August 11th at 6 p.m. We will continue to provide our board with updates at that board meeting, and we expect our board to vote on the remote learning plan that ensures that we are in compliance with all state and federal requirements at that meeting. For more information, please visit www.shaker.org. We will be sending out a communication to all of our students and families almost immediately after this presentation that just echoes or repeats some of the information that I shared with everybody today. We will also be publishing a frequently asked questions document along with the communication that we'll be sharing shortly. That FAQ document will be updated as additional questions come in. As always, we appreciate your feedback, your input, your questions, your thoughts, your ideas. Please continue to share those with us. And our feedback forms remain, and you are still able to submit questions for these updates or submit feedback on our standing feedback form on our website. Thank you again to our community. We appreciate you. Thank you for your support. And I hope everyone has a good afternoon and a good weekend. Have a great day. Bye-bye.